Hi everybody, welcome to Module 7 of Week 7, which in the summer is actually the last week of class. So this week is jam-packed with the final module and your final paper. So in the module for the new content for this week, we'll be looking at organizational change and organizational culture. Favorite quote of mine, and I love the visual that I was able to find: culture eats strategy for breakfast. So see what you think about that as we work through the topic this week. So parts of the organizational change chapter we've already covered. We talked about org structure in the essentials class. So I'm going to have you take a look at changing organizations, or what does it take to effectively implement a planned change. And then organizational culture is often the target of those planned changes. And then we have our final journal assignment looking at the overall concept of servant leadership. Okay, so a little bit of a difference. For the discussion board, I'm going to ask you to just do the initial post. So basically to describe an organization and the elements of culture. You do not have to respond to any other posts this week because you have so much going on. Some of you are ahead. That's good. The written assignment for this week focuses on one of the tools we can use in change management, and this is called the force field analysis. Kurt Lewin has done a lot of work in the area of organizational change. So you may be familiar with this, and basically it's an analysis you do as you're thinking about trying to create an organizational change. What are those forces that are on my side that are pushing in favor of the change, and what are those forces pushing against the change? And the forces, as you'll find in your reading, could be individuals, could be status quo, it could be tradition. So it's not necessarily people, but issues that are working against the change. So I've added a link here to a document that has kind of a schematic of the force field analysis. Sometimes that's hard to use, so don't worry about actually using that Word file. Just somehow give me a change you want to see implemented. Identify the driving and restraining forces. Comment on how you're going to shift that equilibrium point, the present state, to where you want it to be. Where will you target? Like, what will your first steps be? It's usually more effective to try to get the restraining forces to back off than it is to push harder. Identify who will resist your change and how you can handle that. The final assignment in the module is to evaluate yourself as a servant leader. So actually all of the characteristics of principled leadership that we've looked at throughout this 7-week session, or 6 weeks so far, have been different aspects of servant leadership. So this will be your final journal, evaluating yourself on servant leadership. And you'll notice I've asked you to try to complete the module materials by midnight on Friday, so I can work on grading those over the weekend, and then to turn in your final assignment by Monday. So my grades are due on Tuesday. Now this is Sunday night. My grades are due on Tuesday, so if you can submit it earlier than Tuesday or Sunday at midnight, the 26th at midnight, do that, and I will try to get in and grade them early. So in the final paper, I'm asking you to kind of set up future goals, create a personal mission statement if you don't already have one, create a leadership philosophy if you don't already have one. If you have these already, just paste them in here. Spend a little bit of time thinking about and telling me about what success means to you at this point in your life, because it can often change as we move through our life stages. And then this is where the plan comes in. So create a plan based on the first 3 parts of this paper. So considering all the different topics from the semester and leadership competencies that you wrote about. Okay, so we talked about conflict and leadership and change and Then we looked at all the characteristics of principled leaders according to the Citadel's model. So given all of those different topics, choose 2 that you see as your current strengths and identify how you're going to use them more often or in pursuit of the mission and philosophy you stated. And then identify 2 areas of developmental needs. Okay, so again, influence, if you specifically want to work on influence or conflict management or inspirational leadership or team building or acting with courage, being your true authentic self. So pick 2 of those that you want to work on and then identify some specific action steps. Well, what are the things you're going to do to start developing and improving in those areas? So there are no right or wrong answers. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on the session and then think about moving forward. What do you want to continue to work on? So again, I may be speed grading these, so I might have to go in later and put in the feedback. My mom's 81st birthday is on Sunday, so I'm going to be at her house, so it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. So let me know if you have questions about any of this, and I look forward to reading your work.